My name is Chris Huether, and I'm running for the regional director position for the Great Plains region for Sertoma. I've been a member of Sertoma since 2008. During that time, I've been a vice president, president, and in charge of running our ice fishing tournament in our local club. I've also been able to be involved at a larger level, having been the fundraising district representative for Northern Minnesota and the district governor for Northern Minnesota as well. I'm currently the Great Plains Regional Development Chair in 2021-2022.
Question number 1. Why do you want to be a regional director on the board of directors of Sertoma? And what specific skills, knowledge, and service do you bring to the board?
I'm looking to serve as the regional director because I've had positions both at our local level and in the national organization. I'm looking to basically move forward in those roles. At a local level, I've been the club president, a vice president, and also helped out with our fundraising. At the national level, I've been able to do the fundraising district representative role and also act as the district governor. I see the regional director position as another step forward in terms of helping Sertoma. In terms of my skills and knowledge and service that I would bring to the board, I've been an attorney for 15 years, and in my day-to-day work as an attorney, I have to ask difficult questions and drill down for important information. I believe both of those things are an asset to Sertoma at the national level in a regional director role.
With the continuation of this pandemic, how do we as Sertomans engage our clubs and members?
I believe we have to look at the engagement at two different levels. At a local level, we have to keep members connected to their local club so that they don't lose touch. That could be Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, or even phone calls between club members to see how everybody's doing. We have to check up on one another and make sure people are doing okay. At a national level, we have to make sure that the local clubs know who they can contact for help, and we can show benefit to the local clubs from the national organization. The club grant program is a great example. It was easy for the national organization to show benefit to the local clubs. They were able to get grants to help them out and be able to show their local communities that they got something from the National Sertoma organization that helped out their local community.
Question 3. What do you see as the biggest obstacle to membership in Sertoma, and where do you see our Sertoma organization in 10 years?
I think the biggest obstacle to membership in Sertoma is simply a lack of people's time. People now are pressed in a lot of different directions. People have work at a level that they haven't had before. There's social media that takes up people's time. People who have kids have sporting events seemingly every night of the week. And there's lots of other service organizations competing for people's time as well. So I think that's simply the biggest obstacle to continuing to grow membership in Sertoma. But we have to keep growing membership in Sertoma and keep members engaged. One way that we've done that in our local club is to have a membership drive. But what we found after doing that was we invited back all of the retired members to come as well. And those individuals had as much fun coming back to the organization as we did trying to get new members to participate. So that was a really interesting way to work on our membership. As far as where I see Sertoma in 10 years, honestly, I hope it's where it is now. A thriving organization that is continuing to grow, that continues to have leaders stepping up from local clubs to take over national positions.
Is there anything that Sertoma has done in the past or something you've done in another organization that could be brought to Sertoma today?
In terms of something that Sertoma has done in the past, I think the biggest thing that I see is a continued push to make sure that regional conventions are relevant and useful to the members. I started attending regional conventions back in 2012 and have gone every year to the Great Plains Regional Convention since. It has been able to show me that Sertoma is a lot bigger than my local club, and has a lot more relevance as a national organization than I knew when I joined my local club. I think it's important for leaders of local clubs to be able to attend that. And I think it's important for that to be a focus. I heard stories from people who'd been to conventions for 30 or 40 years of Great Plains conventions where there'd be hundreds and hundreds of people attending. And I think that it's important for people to have that face-to-face contact in a world where they don't get it as much. And so I think certainly pushing for that is very important to see. And that would be something that I hope can continue is the regional conventions and continue to grow them.
Is there anything that would ever cause you to leave Sertoma?
The only reason I could think of that I would leave Sertoma would simply be if my local club didn't exist. And I think that's the big concern that I have with a lot of the clubs in the Great Plains region that I see, is that they may simply just cease to exist. The members get older and they simply stop being a club. And so I think that's what I would see as a reason I would leave. But I appreciate the camaraderie of my local club. We do service projects together. We do socials together. I don't think I'd leave unless the club itself ceased to exist.
What do you see as the role of a Sertoma regional director?
I think as the regional director for Sertoma, there's two different roles. One is to communicate the issues of the local clubs to the national organization and be able to articulate that to the national organization to say, these are the problems that the local club is having, local clubs are having. And here's some suggestions for how to deal with those. Sometimes the local clubs have ideas that are better than any I could come up with. And so being able to communicate those to the national leadership is important. I think that also flows the other way, that as a regional director, you need to be able to communicate the big ideas of the national organization down to the local clubs, to be able to explain how they're going to impact local clubs if they are, and to be able to sell those ideas to the local clubs so they understand why it's important for certain ideas to move forward and why certain things are being implemented. You don't want it to be a situation where these are simply commands coming down from on high and the local clubs feel like they have no say in those decisions or input into the decisions. So that's what I see the role of the regional director being, is somebody who can communicate between the local clubs, the national organization, and make both of them valuable.